Just hold on my glasses.
Did you find it?
No.
They're right there next to the Samsung thing.
He can't see without his glasses. You just went there. Alright.
If you didn't find your glasses.
I will glue those glasses in your face. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
we're back.
Welcome.
I can see all of you are still alive.
Of course, yes.
Rumors of my death.
Of course, yes.
Rumors of my death have been highly exaggerated.
yes.
As you can see, contrary to popular belief, I am still alive.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Which is
a good
good.
thing.
Alive is good. But being alive, I've seen a lot of people saying to be alive, you have some responsibility to society. Do you?
What is that?
Like, you have to get married? You owe
Interesting.
society that? Do you have to?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like, is there a rule that says I have to get married?
I know the point you're getting at, because these days I see, like, I think all of my friends, not all of them, like
A lot of them.
80% of them are married.
Yeah.
I see them on Facebook. They have like joint accounts now.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
nice. Nicely done.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't.
Yeah.
I mean,
What's the reason?
okay, here's my thoughts on marriage, if I can make it very simple.
Yep.
Some people get married and they're happy and it works for them. Good. By all means, get married.
Nice.
For some people, they get married and they're absolutely miserable and they decide to end the marriages. If you end the marriage and your life becomes a lot healthier, a lot better, good for you. Do it. Some people, because of social pressure, they get married and they're stuck in these miserable marriages.
Yeah.
And they stay there because society will have bad things to say if you get a divorce.
Mm.
Sadly, a lot of people in our parents' generation went through this. So in my country, for example, and I'm sure this is true for most societies in the world, people would say, you know, our parents were sad, but they stuck it out. No, they did not stick it out. They were miserable. Dude, this is my own personal experience. My mother died a miserable woman because of being married to a human being that just wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
So my view on marriage is different things work for different people. If you choose not to, I mean, by all accounts, don't.
Mm.
If you choose to and it doesn't work out, walk out of it. No one is holding a gun to your head.
Mm.
But again, that is a bit too simplistic. Why? Because the society we live in, men tend to have more resources than women do.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And in very many societies, women don't have as much education or as much power to make money. So they rely a lot on their husbands, especially if they have children.
Mm.
So it becomes really, really difficult for them to walk away from these marriages. And whether the men know it or not, they use that as a weapon against these women and they keep them there because you're miserable, but guess what? They're going to stay with you.
Yeah.
There are some marriages that are violent. There are millions of cases of women getting murdered by their husbands. There's just so many stories. I'm not saying all marriages are unhappy.
Yeah.
Some of them are extremely happy. Some of them are very good, very fulfilling for whoever's involved. But some of them, honestly, don't deserve to exist.
I am with getting married.
Mm-hmm.
The idea of getting married, I am with it, absolutely. And at some point of my life, I will get married.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, why I support marriage? At the same time, why I disagree with somewhat you said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I kind of look at it from many sides.
Mm-hmm.
One, love.
Yeah.
So, speaking about love, the brain and the heart are the most important organ in human body.
Okay.
All along I thought it was legs.
No. So these two, it's very hard to take risk and donate these two to somebody,
Someone. Correct.
right?
Mhm.
Where they will get control of you. They will control you basically. Yeah. And I think all of us has been in love, maybe. Yeah. All of us experienced love. I would say. I would say we all experience it, and you find yourself that maybe you give your heart to a wrong person. Maybe that person don't deserve your heart. And maybe the vice versa. Maybe you don't deserve that person. Yeah,
true.
Yeah. So that's the first side I look to. Yeah. So getting married is based on love, number one, and number two, which is how long are you going to live with? Right. Now, in the first 6 months, the husband and wife are so obsessed about each other.
Yeah.
Right? They love each other so much. Yeah, and that love will disappear after sometimes. At some point, will not be love. That's why in Quran is mentioned, and we make between both of them mercy and love. It's not only love, because love will disappear at some point. Okay. It's actually mercy about this person. Yeah, and by having children, then you will be actually responsible, and that children you will just take care of it. You can do anything just to make these children live the best life possible. Okay, so building a society at this point, at this, I can say, perspective, I totally agree with. Why? Because I want to live a happy life. Like now, my dad and mom, they love each other so much, yeah. And I always see that the best example that I want to have such life similar to that. So yeah, that's the point that I look at.
Mr. Johan, what does your wife think of this thing?
Okay, for me it's not religion, because I really don't
subscribe to any of them.
No, religion is not a part of the problem, because for me, my parents are happily married. They're I think 55 years old, and they're really happily married. And my contributes because my dad is a tour guide and he's not in the house. So my mom and dad is like, they just met, mom is calling, when are you coming up? Everybody's like, what? We are married for this long and you are still in love? That's actually amazing. But for me, it's this thing where I usually get fed up with things after some time. Like what you said, you're in love, right? I had many relationships, yes. So you're in love after a year or not even a year sometimes.
It has an expiry date to
yeah. Then you're not in love, but you're just staying there because of the pressure. And now imagine this. We are still in a relationship and we don't want to break up. We don't want to hurt each other. Or we don't want people to see that we are breaking up, because it has been hyped, right? But imagine now I sign a document saying, okay, I'm married to this.
Government is now involved.
Now the government is involved. I mean, I don't get it. We are animals, right? Yeah. We evolved from animals. So I'm not taking the religious perspective here. We evolved from animals. Animals, what do we want to do? We want to reproduce and grow. Yeah. Understood. That's why we have this attraction towards a female to reproduce. I agree. Right? Now, when you take a paper and sign on it, right, saying I'm going to stay with this person, like what you said, women don't get equally opportunity. Now, especially when you get a kid, what do women do mostly? They are pressured to quit their job and become a housewife.
Stay at home and take care of the kids.
Yes. Now, kid becomes part of the problem. I know few couples, they didn't have a good relationship. I mean, after marriage, what's the fix? Have a child. I mean,
biggest mistake ever.
Yeah, and they're still together somehow. I don't get it, and it's all because of this pressure. That's one part of the problem. I say, I don't think I can do it. I don't think I can hurt someone like that, and I don't think I'll go through shit like that because I signed some document.
True.
Not me. And the other biggest problem that I see, last week, if you remember, I left at around 3 o'clock after recording. Yeah. So I went to meet one of my friends. She came to Dubai. She's an engineer. Yeah. She's working here. And she's only like 24 years old. Yeah. She's earning a good salary. So we were just talking. I was like, what are you doing with yourself? And she's like, yeah, I'm spending here. And the rest I'm sending it to my family. And they're putting it in a fixed deposit. I'm like, okay, good. That's really good. Then she's like, no, it's not good. I'm like, why is it not good? Like,
You are winning.
yeah, you're winning. And she's like, no, that's for my dowry.
What the hell?
Do you know what's a dowry?
You pay a price to get married.
Yeah. So that's for my dowry. I'm like, are you serious right now? You studied. You came to Dubai. She doesn't have to come to Dubai. They're rich. She came to Dubai. She's all alone here. She's working. She's sending money for someone she haven't even met yet. And their family is so fixated on her having arranged marriage, thinking about caste and stars and blah blah aligning together.
Yeah.
It's weird. So this whole idea of marriage and having papers and governments involved in it, I actually don't get that part. Yes, I would like to have I would like to share love with someone, but that too, it wears away, and I should be free to leave when I want.
Yeah.
If I don't like this, if it's fine, if it's working out, yes, we'll stay.
By all means, yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not. For me, the way I look at it is I know they say never say never. I am not married. And the way I see it, I don't think I will.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I cannot say, with final authority, this will never happen. You never know.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you might wake up and you have a completely different perspective on life. This is human evolution. This is how we look at things. But I completely believe that if you do decide to get married, do it for good reason.
Yes.
One.
Of course.
Yes.
Two, if it's not working out, either of you, or if you're multiple people in that marriage, each of you should have the choice to walk away from it.
Yeah.
Without any backlash from the other party or from society.
Yes.
And if you do walk away from it, there should be a proper split of whatever resources you got together, so that no one walks away being the loser.
Yeah.
For example, it's not that if I walk away from this marriage, I'm going to be homeless.
No, it's
Or if
not
I
that.
walk away from this marriage, I cannot feed myself anymore. I cannot sustain a certain lifestyle. No, it shouldn't be like that. And another thing is, if you do get married, and after some time, for whatever reason, it's not working, not that you hate each other, or that you're being violent towards each other, the option should be there. The one thing that I absolutely detest is this pressure from society.
Yes.
So I'll tell you a story. I think you guys probably know the background to this. There was this woman who used to work with us back in the day. She left, I think, like a year ago. Every single time she saw me, she'd be like, when are you getting married? And she asked that question so many times. It's like someone is sticking needles in your brain. So one day I was upset. So I asked her, with everyone, I raised my voice. I made sure everyone was hearing. And I was like, do you want to marry me? Yeah, the only reason you'd be asking me that is, why else would you be asking me about getting married? Yeah. So the moment she asked, when are you getting married? I was like, do you want to marry me? Like, why are you asking?
What was the answer?
She stopped. She never said anything after that day. So this societal pressure where it's, and especially for women, I think yesterday or day before, I saw this woman who tweeted, and she tweeted something along the lines of, being 27 years old and unmarried is such a shameful thing. And I'm like, okay, let's try to understand this statement. It's shameful because, says who?
Yeah.
It's shameful, why? What's the shame in being married? I know people, Oprah isn't married, technically. She has a partner who they live with, but they're not married. There's no contract. She seems to be living an awesome life.
Yeah.
So there are people who are married and they seem to be very happy with their marriages.
Yeah.
There are people who are married and they're miserable. They cannot stand each other anymore. And like you say, there are people who are married and then they're miserable, and then let's get a kid to see if we can fix it. Trust me, that kid is going to be miserable twice.
Yeah.
Because the misery of both of you will somehow end up on that kid. And it's just a mistake. I don't think...
Yeah, and also, like, as you said, if it doesn't work, if it didn't work, there is divorce.
Yeah.
But now you see the problem usually comes in. One, it's when a woman walks away. Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
When Mackenzie Bezos decided to divorce him because he was cheating or whatever, a lot of society, and I even saw a meme about it literally this morning, like, richest woman on the planet, Mackenzie Bezos. She's worth $40 billion. Source of income, divorce. That is not true.
Yeah.
That woman by herself. She's a brilliant human being.
Yeah.
Some of those ideas to build Amazon came from her.
Yeah.
She contributed to that business.
Yeah.
So that money she's getting out of it is her fair share of the money. It's not that she's getting the money because she was married to this guy. No.
Yeah.
She's getting the money because of what she contributed. But how does society look at it? This woman is getting this money because she was married to a rich dude. And now, when women walk away from any marriage, 99.99% of the time, society views them as being wrong.
Yeah.
And there'll be so much pressure. They'll tell you, just put up with it, for the kids, men are like this. No, men are not like that. At least men are not supposed to be like that. You're a human being. How can you just go around, treating people, someone that you at some point claimed to love?
Yeah.
How can you just go around treating them horribly?
Exactly.
And then your excuse is, we are like that. Like what?
Yeah.
So I understand there's always the option for divorce, but still society will view the woman as being wrong.
Yeah.
And if the woman does manage to walk away from it, a lot of the time, she'll still end up in a situation where she's worse off than when she was in that marriage. So, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Yeah. And then there are these women who decide, I'm going to put up with it. And then one day the police are being called because someone has, stuck a knife through her eye or something.
Yeah, but also if you look at divorce percentage, it's actually going higher compared to the back in the day, or let's say the past 15 years. Compare divorce 15 years. And that's also because of what I think we talked about at some point. Social media is one of the reasons why people are getting divorced. Basically, why problems happening just because of...
I don't think so. I would think the reason divorces are getting higher is simple. One, women nowadays are getting a little more opportunity. So they can get education and they can get jobs, and it's easier for them to walk away from marriage. Two, women have figured out that they will not put up with the same bullshit their mothers put up with.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
They're like, my mother suffered misery for whatever years she was married. I am not going to put up with that. If this marriage isn't working, guess what? I'm out. Simple as that. I think it's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
As long as no one is holding a gun to your head and telling you walk out of the marriage or stay in the marriage, it's perfectly fine.
And the pressure doesn't stop there, when you're a kid, go to school, get a degree, get married. Then when you're married, where's your kid? Where's your kid?
Oh yeah. Dude, I keep telling people, if my mother was alive today, the amount of times she'd be calling me to ask why she doesn't have grandchildren.
Yeah.
I'd be like, just stop. Live in peace. Just stop. Or the famous one I've been told is, think about it like this. All of your ancestors had children. You're the first one who's stopping that line. Yeah. Guess what? There are 8 billion of us on this planet. You don't need me to have children for this species to continue.
Also, guess what? If everybody thinks like you, after how many years? Let's guess. 50? 100?
No, dude.
Nobody will
the population of the planet in 1970 was about 4 billion. This is 50 years ago. Now we are double that. It just took 50 years.
Let's say you inspire
for 4 billion people to be on the planet.
Onwards, you will inspire the full world, the whole universe.
Of course, it's not possible. I am literally sitting here in the same room, and you have a different opinion from me. So it's not possible that we will all have the same opinion. Statistically, that's just not possible. So all I'm saying is, everyone should have that option without being judged unfavorably.
Of course, yes, and also it's about a plan, like a proper plan.
Yeah.
You love someone and you want to continue the rest of your life with that person. You love hiking, you love driving, you love this, you love that, and the other person does the same. He loves whatever you love, so you are going to share the same thing. You are going to live a good life together, sharing or doing the same thing.
Unless it's an arranged marriage like Johan was saying.
No, I am against arranged marriage. I will decide the person who I will live with.
True.
I will not ask my mom to find someone who can suit my life.
Unless your mother wants to get married.
See, my mom can find someone. Wait. My mom, she's a very understanding person. Yeah. She understands me like very, very well. Yeah. When I say I want 1, 2, 3, she'll be like, okay, why? 1, 2, 3, that's the reasons. Okay, then. So arranged marriage is something wrong. It's going to end up at some point. Yeah. I mean, the person that you are going to live with, you should know.
Yeah.
Not you should get arranged. So when you get married with a proper plan, you see the person, you see that this person fit that this is the best for me, I'm going to continue my life with, then go ahead. Now when you get married, there is a next step. You are going to be responsible, right? Yes, she is responsible too, but I see it as a man, you should take care of everything. Correct? I believe that men always should have that responsibility about everything. Yes, they should have that discussions and everything, and then life goes away.
So all of you who are watching, he's still single.
If you want, you can apply. The one thing I'd say is, if you do decide to get married, very, very important, make sure you have the resources to sustain that marriage. Make sure you have the money. Life is about money. You're not going to marry someone and go live in the middle of a highway. You need to live in a house, you need to eat food. So one of you has to have some money that can sustain this.
Definitely.
Simple as that. I've seen a lot of people also make that mistake. You get married and you're like, oh yeah, we'll split half and half. And then somehow things don't work and now you don't have money and you can feed yourselves.
Some other mistakes which I have seen horribly than this. They will say, all right, let's arrange a marriage for this guy. Okay, he's jobless, he doesn't do anything. Okay, so let's arrange a marriage for him. He will get married, and then he will be responsible, and then he will. No, that's wrong. It's just going to make it worse and worse.
Don't do that to people. And if you want to have children, same thing. Make sure you have money. Kids are expensive. I've seen my sister's kids. I've seen the amount of money my sister and her husband pay for school or hospital bills. Kids are expensive as hell.
There is a sweet part in kids.
Until they start crying at 2 a.m. on a weekday when you're supposed to go to work.
That's cool. But kids, I love kids. I want to have kids.
I don't think that conversation will end now. So, this has been a bit longish. I think this discussion could go on for another hour or two and we might still not be done. So, let's end it there for now. We might come back to this topic again later on. Sure. By all means. So, like, click, subscribe, share, everything else. Jump over plane, wear parachute. See you next time. Bye.